Hello. I understand that it's going to be Sunflower Week this week, and so we're going to do a painting with of a sunflower. So you have 8 by 10 canvas boards there, and so you want to use those. And I went ahead and you need some, we're going to use acrylic paint. So I went ahead and painted the back of the background blue, as you can see. And so that will be your first step as well. And then you need to let it dry. So when that's done, you can come back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay. All right, so I'll assume that you've got your background painted and dried. And so we'll move on. I'll tell you some of the supplies that you need to have out. We need a medium-sized brush, flat brush will work, a lid that we'll use to draw the center of our flower, a pencil. I've got orange and yellow. I've got some brown acrylic paints. I've got, this is called red oxide, which is kind of a rusty. So, and let's see, I also need a white. Oh, here we go. And here's a white. So those are the acrylic paints that you need. And really, and then a paper plate, your usual water bowl, and paper toweling. So the first thing that we're going to do, and really doing a painting and drawing a sunflower is very easy. So we like simple, right? So I'm putting my lid over the edge of the canvas just to give it a little more interest visually, that we're just not plopping it right in the middle. We're kind of having it off to the side so that the flower has more visual interest. And so when you get that positioned as you like it, just take your pencil and trace around the lid. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, I'll put this right here, is make sure that your paints have been well shaken, and you want to put a little bit of yellow here, and you want to put some orange, and then we're going to put our yellow here. Excuse me, not yellow, white. There we go. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is to make a third color here, mixing some of your orange and your yellow. Okay, and then you're going to decide how long you want your petals to be, and you want them to be a little more pointy at the edge, and then you take them down, so you're going from the outside down to the circle. Okay, I'll let you play with that for just a little bit. Okay, and then you're going to pick up some more yellow and orange, and we're just going to work our way around the circle. So make it again a little fatter down at the bottom, and then we're going to do another one, and we're only going to see part of it because it's going off of the canvas, right? So let's take some more of our yellow and orange. And they don't have to touch necessarily. We're going to be putting a lot more petals. We're going to layer them a little bit. So and remember, the petals do not have to be the same. We're painting nature, so they don't have to be the same. Longer. And if you don't like the size of some of them, you can always go back and make them a little bit longer. Don't get too fussy with these because they don't need to be perfect. And it's fine to have some of the petals be darker or more orange. I want to give mine some more color at the ends and make them a little more pointed. There we go. So again, I'm just mixing a nice orange. Okay, so look at what you did and see if you need to go back. Make them a little longer or whatever you want. Okay, so then we're going to clean out our brush, because we're going to do a second layer of the flowers. And we're going to make those be more of the yellow. And they're going to go over, on the edges, they're going to go over the petals that we just did. And a little too much water in my paint there, so I'll have to go over these again. Let's see how we're making some layers. Is it starting to look like a sunflower? I think so. And because this yellow is not as dark and it doesn't cover up the blue paint quite as much, we're going to have to come back and probably do a second coat once those dry. But that is not a problem. Sorry. My allergies are bad again today. Or maybe I'm allergic to rain since we're having even more rain here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back over these. Give them a second coat. And as you can see, they're really covering up the blue much better this time. I think I need to make these a little longer up here. They turned out longer down on the bottom than they did up here, which is no problem. That's the good thing about painting, right? I can sort of have them go off to the side too. You can go back over and I think I'm going to make some of my orangey ones a little bit bigger too. So you might have to go back over your tips where you elongated it a little bit. Just keep working with it until you're happy. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm starting to worry it to death. Okay, so we need to just, so we'll start wrapping up the painting of the petals, and we'll start working on the center, which, as you remember, has a bunch of seeds in it, right? So what we want to do is make this look textury. I don't know if that's a word or not, but we're going to make it a word. And this bottle is brand new, so now I've got it. So I'm using a kind of a medium brown. And we'll put some more on the paper plate like this. And then we're going to take our slightly bigger brush, and we're going to make some texture. So we're going to kind of bounce your brush up and down. We've done this before with some of our other projects. And you want to overlap a little bit over the bottom of the petals. Not a lot, but just keep bouncing and bouncing. Just to give it the illusion that it has seeds, right? Okay, so now we want to go back to our medium brush, the one that we used for the petals, and we're going to get out a, whoops, I guess this one's new too. No, it seems to be, got some plastic there. A bottle malfunction. Okay. So we're using a darker brown, if I can ever get it out of the bottle. There we go. And so we want to do the same stippling effect, the up and down, but we're going to have a darker color of brown, and we're going to go right around the outside of the circle like this, and then we're going to taper it because we want this to look like a shadow. Okay? Okay, and then we can do just a little bit of the dark up here. All right. So now we're going to go back to our original brown, light medium brown color. So this color. And in the center, we're going to make a second coat. I want it to be a little darker, a little less blue showing through. Maybe go a little bit just on the outside here to blend that in. then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our yellow, which you should still have on your plate. And we're going to mix some of the yellow into our brown. See that? So mix it well, and then we're going to go around like this to make it look like it has a little bit of a highlight around it. And then we want to pick up more of the yellow. See how it makes it look in places like it's even more highlighted. And again, because we're painting and we can't make a mistake even if we try, if you got a little too much yellow in places, you can just go back right over it with your brown. And it'll blend real nicely when your paint hasn't dried. So if you decide that you need to do that, you need to work a little quickly. See how you can get everything just kind of nice and natural looking? Just like that. I think I want to put a little more yellow over here. And we've got that nice texture going. Good job, us. Again, don't overwork it. There we go. We're going to take just a little bit of our dark brown, just a teeny little bit, and just a little bit right around here, and kind of blend it in with your medium brown. There you go. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our yellow and some of our white, mix that up so it's a little bit lighter. And we're going to go over our yellow. Not so that it's solid. Whoopsie. Lost control of my brush there. You can still let some of the yellow show through. but we just want to lighten those up, those petals up a little bit. So we have some contrast, right? Paint. See how they're showing up a little bit more now? So if you think of painting as just adding layers of color, then you'll start getting the look of depth. And you can let some of that yellow show through. Just the plain yellow that we put on earlier. Okay, so you might want to hold it up and see how it's looking. Cool beans. Okay, so what you might want to do is add a little more yellow to this orange. Just a little bit of orange to it. Just add a little bit to make these back petals pop a little bit. And we'll just do this on the ends of them, then we'll do something else on the as we get closer to the center of the flower. Okay, so just do this near the end. Okay. And if you want to get a smaller brush, you can do that if it's easier for you. We're going to take mostly the orange, and we're going to take some of this brown to it so it's a little darker. And then we're going to just put those whoops, that wasn't good, Kathy. Put those, just a little bit of that darker color. Putting more of the brown like down here because that's where the shadows would be the darkest, right? I'm going to go back with just a little more of the orange, just to kind of smooth some of this out. I didn't like those just lines of orange. Just blend them in a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to look and see, is there anything that I don't really like? I don't like this right here. I'm going to put some yellow back on that. I don't like where I painted orange on my yellow, so I'll make that less noticeable. See what I tell you when you just can't make any mistakes because you can always let it dry and go back over it. All right. Now what we're going to do with our brown is we're going to just do little lines all the way around. And this is the medium brown again, not the real dark brown. Don't want to make them real dark. Just giving the petals a little bit of depth as well too. Okay, so I've got that done. All right, so if I can find some green paint here. Lucky green. A deep forest green, that'll work. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a pencil again, and what we can do is just do a nice thick stem at the bottom, and then we can make a nice big leaf here. And as you know, they have nice and we're going to have it go off to the other side. So everything's kind of cropped here, and that's pretty cool. All right, so once I paint this, you'll be able to see better. So I'm going to start with a medium green. And we're going to do the stem first. So don't make it a skinny stem, because remember, sunflowers are very tall, so they have to have nice, and the heads get heavy when they've got the seeds. So you need to have some nice thick stems. And then we're going to make a not quite as thick stem for the leaf. And then we're going to make a nice big leaf here. So if you don't have it drawn yet, you can see now and then draw it. And we're going to have it going off the other side. So if you don't have a darker green, what you can do is add some black to the green that we just used. I happen to have a darker green, but you can just add a little black to it. You all know that. We've done that before with paints. And we're going to put some shadows. Along the bottom. We're going to feather it out. And then on the bottom side of the stem, we're going to put it. And then on the edges of this stem. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my original green, like I did before, and kind of blend this all in. And this will work out well if your paint is still wet. This. Just so it looks more natural. And then we are going to take just a little bit of white and mix it with our original green. Not a whole bunch. Just to lighten it up just a little bit. And then we're going to make a little bit of highlight. And maybe just a little more white to get yet more highlight. You can blend that in. In the places where the sun would be hitting. See how you can make it blend in very nicely. Now, if you want to make some veins, and this will be pretty much our last step. They'll come from here, and then you just follow make sure to make them curved. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got going here. Make a little bit of a blob. I don't really like there, but again, you can always fix it. All right, and there we have it. I hope you had fun. I sure did. It was exactly what I needed to do tonight. Nice and relaxing. So take care of yourself, and I will talk to you soon.